friends, good evening, and once again I welcome you all to the Enqueue Sports YouTube channel. As promised earlier, we are going to be discussing about each and every sport, and for that purpose today we have decided to focus on hockeys. We are going to be starting off by reviewing two of the best hockey brands of the world, which are Grays and Matador. If we start off with the Grays hockey, I'm going to tell you about a few basics. Hockeys come in sizes ranging between 36 inches to 41 or 42 inches, but the most prominent brands manufacture it in the range of 36.5 inches to 37.5 inches. This is a 37.5 inch hockey, and it is a high grade hockey made by Grace. It is a high carbon content hockey, and remember, the more the carbon content in a hockey, the more expensive it is. So this is an 80% carbon content hockey, and if you look at the other hockey in question, which is a Matador hockey, it has a very low carbon content, 10 to 15%. If you watch the entire episode, you'll get to know why we have decided to compare these two hockeys. Now, the length of this particular hockey is not 37.5, it is 36.5. As it says on the top of the blade, it is 36.5. And this Grace hockey is 37.5. So, you can clearly see the difference in lengths. Now, what is the most important thing which a manufacturer takes into consideration before the manufacturing of a hockey? Well, it is the mold of a hockey. The mold of a hockey is basically the shape of a hockey, that in which particular shape you want to manufacture the hockey. So first you have to prepare the mold, and then you have to put in all the composite materials to fabricate a perfect hockey for yourself and for your brand. In the days gone by, hockeys used to be made up of mulberry wood or few classes of wood which were native to Pakistan. Even now they are made, but they are in the cheaper price categories. The good players and the professionals seek to buy these sort of hockeys which are made up of composite materials like carbon, fiberglass, aramid, Kevlar, aluminum. So these are the two good hockey brands. Now, after the mold, the next important thing in a hockey is probably this part here, this curved part, this toe part, this bow part. The two most popular variations that come in these bows are the dribble bow and the multi-bow. Now, what is a dribble bow? The dribble bow is basically a shape of the bow which is preferred by the midfielders, as it gives them a lot of control, a lot of power when trying to hit a ball away, and it allows the ball to travel greater distances with a lot of pace. So it is preferred by midfielders, and it is also a lot lighter in weight. But the multi-bow, what the multi-bow does is that it is slightly heavier in weight, and it doesn't make the ball travel as fast. So when you smash a ball, this is a standard hockey ball, a dimpled ball made by Grace. When you smash or hit the ball or sweep the ball with a heavier bow or a multi-bow, it doesn't travel as fast as it does in the case of a lighter bow or a dribble bow. Now we are going to be discussing about the carbon contents. Just as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago. Now the carbon content in this hockey is 80% carbon, 10% fiberglass, and 10% aramid or Kevlar. In this particular hockey, it's about 10% carbon. It is about, you could say, 80% fiberglass and 10% Kevlar or something like that. So, what happens with the hockey of a higher carbon content? The more the carbon in the hockey, the more stiffer it gets. The stiffer hockeys, or the stiffness in the hockeys, is the preference of the best players of the world, because the stiffer hockeys allow them to control the ball well and hit the ball in the direction of their choosing. As a player, you don't want to hit the ball in one direction and the ball traveling in another direction. So for that purpose, you like to have a higher carbon content. But what a higher carbon content does is that it makes the hockey very hard. And when the hockey ball comes and impacts over here, it gives you a severe vibration in your hands, which is an unwanted vibration, of course. So what the manufacturers do to reduce this vibration? Well, they include fiberglass into it, which makes the hockey soft and shock proof to a certain extent as well. So whenever as a hockey player you hit the ball and you don't feel any shocks or vibrations, you have to thank the manufacturer for putting in a good quantity of fiberglass. The best manufacturers around the world have nowadays started to introduce a very, very good and more expensive substitute to fiberglass, which is known as aramid. So this hockey contains about 80% carbon, 10% fiberglass, 10% aramid, which makes the hockey even more soft in feel and shock-proof as well, so you don't feel any vibrations. And if you talk about this hockey here, this contains a lot less carbon content, so it isn't hard enough, and it can flex a bit as well. So if you hit the ball, you're not sure if it is going to travel 100% in the direction of your choosing. That is the reason why it isn't preferred by the best players in the world, but the novice players or the intermediate level players do like to use these particular hockeys. So these are also, as I told you, these are softer, and of course you don't feel any vibrations in them. But you know, there are advantages and disadvantages associated with each type of a product. The mid bow hockey and the dribble bow hockey. Now, what is the difference between the lengths of the bows of the hockey? Now, in the dribble bow hockey, if you see this part between from the toe part of the blade to the top part of this particular bow, this area, this length here is about 80 mm. And in the case of the other variation, which is a multi bow, it is about 10 millimeters different in length from here. So it depends which brand is making. Some brands prefer 60, some prefer 80, some prefer 90 even. Viewers, this was it for the day. I would be definitely going to be shedding a lot of light upon other sporting products, even more hockey brands and everything. I would be loving to hear more from you. I always value your feedbacks, and for that purpose I would request you to like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and spread the word, and keep supporting us, and stay safe everyone. Take care of all your near and dear ones. See you in the next episode. Until then, good night.